Hey, we're in Marquette, Michigan, testing bikes for the 2018 Bible bike tests, and today we rode the Rocky Mountain Altitude. And man, I remember 2 years ago they updated the Altitude. We rode it in Vermont, and we recategorized it. We were going to put it in the all mountain category, and we were like, this kind of rides a little more like a trail bike. It's a little gnarlier this year, but I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah, I completely agree. On paper, it looks very comparable to the other bikes we rode today as well. But on the trail, I felt like it was very much more trail bike oriented as far as just pedaling efficiency and overall suspension performance on the rough terrain.
And man, we had a lot of rough, like chunky, rooty climbs, and I thought it was the most active pedaling bike that we rode today, and it just like kind of made things sort of disappear under it. So I'm sure that everyone agrees with me that it was such a great climbing bike.
I do agree with you in a sense. I thought it was very tractable on the climbs, and I thought it was pretty efficient. I didn't think it was as efficient as I would have liked it to have been, given its downhill performance.
Oh yeah.
But my impression is very much based on sizing, I think.
We could go down quite a rabbit hole talking about sizing on this thing. I mean, is it the fact that we're all used to these new crazy long bikes? Is there something about the bike that makes it feel short? In the neutral position, it's a 458 millimeter reach in the large,
which is not short.
Yeah, it's average. But yeah, I kind of agree. Now, granted, I'm one of these people that's in between extra larges and larges. I'd be on an extra large on this one, so occasionally I kind of am used to that. But yeah, this one, it's a little bit tighter feeling bike.
Yeah, I've ridden bikes that on paper are shorter than this reach-wise, that feel like they ride longer than this does. And there is a plus side to that, which is that the bike's really maneuverable, and it's easy to flick around, and that's aided by the bike's lightweight. But it is not, as you said in your introduction, sort of a bomber downhill bike like the Kona or the Mondraker that we rode.
Yeah, in comparison to the Kona process we rode earlier in the Mondraker Foxy, the Altitude, it felt really snappy and efficient on some of the more flowy trails full of jumps and berms, but on the steeper terrain they got loose with, loose shale, slippery roots and rocks. I felt like the Kona process and the Mondraker really kind of had better traction and stability at speed on that type of terrain, but the Altitude really came to life on like the more poppy, more fun trails.
Do you think that difference was mostly due to geometry or suspension performance?
I think it was more due to the suspension setup and leverage ratios in the bike, and versus the terrain that we chose.
This bike really reminded me of the Trek Remedy. Just like another kind of lightweight, long travel, nimble bike. Similar travel numbers, really similar geometry numbers. And I just got off the Remedy pretty recently, so it just felt really familiar. Yeah.
It's been a little while since I rode the Remedy, but I feel like that was a more capable bike.
Yeah.
What did you think on downhills?
I honestly, I'm going to say it felt like it was a bit of a wash.
I just got off the Yeti SB5LR, which is sort of their longer travel, hopped up version of their 127 mil trail bike, and I liked the Yeti more than the Altitude. Part of that for sure was due to fit, I think, but I felt like that Switch Infinity system just worked so well in all conditions. I felt more confident descending on that bike because it fit me better, but also I thought the suspension was working better on the climbs and on the descents.
I mean, that's huge because, this was a little bit of a mismatched bike. It's 150 rear, 160 front, but the Yeti SB5LR is 127 rear, 160 front.
Yep.
So that's...
Yeah, and speaking about that Yeti, I felt I had more usable travel on the shorter travel Yeti in the rear than I did on this 6-inch travel bike on the Altitude.
Yeah. So who do you think it's for?
I think it's for somebody that has climbs that are as rough as their descents. Like on the trail out there today, a lot of roots, lots of rocks, and yeah, it kind of chewed them up. It's also for somebody that has a good amount of money.
Yeah, this is the top end build, but the Carbon 50 starts at 4,300, so that's probably a solid value.
And if there's, someone who considers himself an aggressive trail rider, but this bike starts at 4,200, so there's more options out there as well.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to Bike Mag's YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the other Bible videos.